Should have prepared a bit better than this.
Well, how about we start with hello?
Hello. Hi, welcome to the barn project. We're really happy with how the previous videos are received by the community. We're really excited to see so many of you are interested in our project, in our adventure. Today we'll talk about connecting the main utilities to the mobile home, because now it's time to get it connected and be able to live in it. So the first point was to get the power back on, because the previous owner of the land had a power meter installed something like 20 years ago. He used it for a few years and then he disconnected it when he stopped coming here. But the meter was still present, so there was still like a meter box at the side of the street. But when we called the utility company to get it back on, they told us that they couldn't find it. They had no idea where it could be. They didn't have the number that we gave them in their system. So what happened in the end is that while this grid connection was disconnected, disabled, their internal systems changed and they did not migrate over the connection that were disabled at the time. So they had no trace of that old connection in their system. So for them it was a new installation. They told us, you need to finish the construction before you can get a permanent connection, or you can get a temporary connection which will be delivered on a small temporary power box. So it was really not handy for us. We prefer to have directly the existing connection, which was already connected in the barn and in the container with its own distribution board. It took approximately 5 or 6 phone calls of like 45 minutes each to finally get someone that would look a little bit more into it. But we ended up finding someone that was willing to help us and to get it connected. The technician came on site and the technician was like, oh, I cannot find the system again, so I have to call my boss. We went around for another little round. That was a little bit frustrating. He was really okay to install it in the end. So the power was finally restored. We had power in the barn, in the container, and then we buried a pipe under the driveway to reach the mobile home and to power it. That was a bit fun, yeah, because the driveway is like compacted soil, kind of gravel thing. It was a bit funny to dig through that. Once we got electricity, we also needed water. That was extremely easy. I just called the company and they told me, yeah, sure, we can send you the paperwork. So they sent me a paper that I had to fill by hand. They did not want it filled with the computer. Scanned it, sent it back, and they called me later and they said, well, your meter is already on. We never turned it off in 20 years. So you can just give us the number that's on it right now, and then we'll start billing you from that point. I was like, oh, okay, cool, that's fine with me. Water here in this area is really cheap. I think we pay around 2 euros a cubic meter for drinking water, which is actually really good quality and taken from a source nearby. It's very full of calcium, so everything gets white, but we can do something about this later on. Yeah, so when we got the water, we could finally take a shower, because the mobile home has a little propane heater for the hot water, like instant propane heater. And the people that sold us the mobile home left us 2 propane bottles, so we were already prepared for that. So when we connected the water, at the same time we also connected the septic tank, because of course you need to get the water out as well. We installed the mobile home strategically where it is currently, because there was already an access hatch for a pipe that the previous owner laid in this area, like a big 100mm diameter outlet pipe. But we realized later on that that pipe was actually for rainwater and not for the septic tank, so it was a separate network. We actually tested it with a kind of dye, fluorescein, that you can mix up in some water, and it makes a really big bright tracer. They often use it to find leaks and things like this. We used that tracer to make sure that it was actually going to the septic tank before we started using the facilities. And it turned out that it was going to the drain for the rainwater. So we looked a little bit at how the pipes were arranged, and we were lucky that there was a pipe going to the septic tank coming in the same area as where the current pipe was going. So we had to cut it in half, and we put a junction. and it's a bit of a upslope at some point, but so far it's not been an issue at all. If we are going to reuse that pipe later on for rainwater, we will clean it up, of course, but for now it works for us. Crazy how fast it goes when you have the right things and that it's not 30 degrees. And most importantly, also, we got internet. We actually got internet at the same time as we got power, because I wanted to install a camera to keep an eye on our future land. So I organized fiber, because we are lucky to have fiber internet here in the countryside. Even though we are in the middle of nowhere, we have really fast internet. And no sewers, but we have fibers, priorities. Yeah, when the fiber technician arrived, he was like, "So where's the house?" And so we showed him the barn. He's like, "This is the house." And he was like, "No, but really." I was like, "Well, this is the house. You can connect it here. I got you a little place here where you can put the fiber outlets. I have an inverter here with batteries, so you can test your router," because the power was not on yet. And he was like, "But no, I cannot do that. How are you gonna do it later on?" "Don't worry about it. It's kind of my job. I work in IT, so don't worry about it. I'll figure it out. But just please leave a little bit of fiber on the side, and we'll take care of it." And the guy, he installed the fiber. I helped him pull the fiber all the way through the driveway, because we have like a pipe underground for the telecom stuff. I was at the end of the driveway next to the road, pushing the fiber through the hole, feeding it, and he was pulling on the other side with his colleague. And it's all been working fantastically well, apart from 1 or 2 times. Because in France, in our area, the fiber is laid on the power line poles. So if a tree falls, then you get at the same time power and fiber lost. But so far, so good. Touch on wood. Bit of wood here. And we have great internet. So we connected also the mobile home directly with an Ethernet cable at the time. And now we have upgraded to a fiber, because back then I took the minimum internet contract. But now that we live here full time and that we work here and everything, we upgraded a little bit. Getting everything connected and installed was a little bit of a challenge, because I'm really summarizing it, but it's been super stable. The electricity in the area has been a struggle, because we are at the complete end of a really long line, especially in the winter, where we had the power dip below 200 volts sometimes. Here in France it's 230 volts approximately, but we managed to get it fixed. We also have a battery system that allows us to be more or less off-grid if we need to keep the fridges running and to be able to keep us working if we need to. And this is something we'll show in a future video. The project is also for the barn to be more or less off-grid, so we'll show you a little bit of this later on. So thanks a lot for all your comments. We're really happy with the feedback we received. We read each and every comment. We try to reply to all of them. We hope you keep following us, and we hope that you're still interested in our content. If you have any suggestion, any idea, any comment about our existing videos, please tell us in the comments. We see that there are people from all over the world following us right now. My accent must not be so bad that people are actually following us and following our journey. So yeah, thanks a lot everyone for following us. We're excited to share the rest of our journey with you. Yeah, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.